Hi guys, my name is Ty.
I'm Christine.
And together we vibrate higher. So today we have a super special guest on. This is Felicia Latour.
Hi.
She is a celebrity makeup artist, amazing mommy, a partner, and a beautiful spiritual being. So we're just gonna ask some questions. You're so welcome. We're gonna ask her some really deep questions today. We're gonna get to know her a little bit more, and we're gonna find out how she does it all.
Yeah. So Felicia, we love your daughter's name. I love how though it's one syllable, it has so much profound meaning to it. What inspired you to name your daughter Peace?
Well, it's very interesting because her dad, he's like, if I ever have a daughter, I would name her Peace. He's like, so what do you think about that name? I'm like, yeah, it's a cool name, like something different. And then he explained the fact of the world needs more peace. And we're very big on like the meanings of names. Like if you look up the definition of your name, usually like that person is their name. So my name is Happiness, and usually I'm very happy for the most part, you know? I feel like I'm always like radiating some type of happiness that's very contagious. So we also thought of it in that way of like, we need peace, let's call somebody Peace, you know? And I think that she gives peace to so many different people, you know?
She absolutely
does.
does.
Like on Instagram and, you know, YouTube, people are like, oh my God, Peace. And at first I was kind of like weirded out about it, but then I was like, oh wait, her name. Like I always had to bring it back to like the reason why we named her that, you know? Like, well, this is kind of what you asked for.
Yeah. Oh, I'm about to weird you out even more. I literally watch her videos. Like if you never scroll through her Instagram, if you don't watch her stories, like please do. It brings me so much happiness to watch her, and it's because she's so, at 2 years old, she's so comfortable in her skin because of you.
I love that she's able to just be herself.
Oh yeah.
So inspiring.
Oh yeah, we're very big. I'm super big on that. I'm like, you have to be yourself. Like,
and that's the thing. Like we come into this life just full of love and ourselves, our true authentic selves, and then we're changed throughout our process.
Because of society, and society trying to condition you into a certain way. So it's really cool how you let her be her. That's so beautiful. That's goals.
Right. You know, my mom is very much like that. My mom is very, you know, like if I ever told her a super crazy idea, because I feel like I'm a very creative being and I always have an idea or something that I want to like push out, and she would always just be like, yeah, cool, do it. You can do anything with God. Like so that's kind of where I get that from. And then Gavin is like that as well. He can be a little bit more conservative, so I kind of have to push him too, like, no, it's okay, you know. But yeah, I definitely got that way of being from my mom for sure.
Cool. And Gavin is the partner. All right, so what is the biggest lesson you want Peace to learn in this lifetime?
I think something that I'm learning right now, and the realization I'm coming to, is living in the present moment and knowing that like the reality is we're gonna die one day, and our spirit keeps going. I think being that we live in Los Angeles, and it's very easy to get caught up in like what's the next thing and how much money we're gonna make and what kind of car we're gonna drive. And it's like I want her to know to express herself, but not to be attached to like things, you know. That's something I'm learning now. And I was telling my sister today, my sister Natalie, she's 19, she just moved out here, and we always have like deep conversations in the car. And I stopped her in the middle of the conversation, and I'm like, yo, peace is gonna be so tight, because the things that we talk about and the self-realization that we come to, and we discuss it in front of one another, and she's listening to us, it's like that's the thing, those are the things that she's listening to, you know? So I think that's something she's gonna learn, and then also to always be herself, like not to feel like, oh, I can't do this, because I notice sometimes in her personality, she can be a little bit shy. When she's at home, she'll like pound a wig and like she wants to do this whole thing, and I'm like, when you go out, like, it's okay to do that. Like, you don't have to feel reserved, but I think in our spirit, we kind of have this, like, ooh, like, I don't want to show everybody, you know? So, self-expression and just living in the present moment, you know, it's very important.
And I think it's so cool how she already embodies that, since she's like, is she considered a baby or a toddler?
Now she's a toddler.
A toddler.
Let me tell you, she's a toddler. She's a toddler.
And I love like looking on your IG story too, because she's just such in the present moment.
Yes.
I love it. It's very inspiring, because sometimes I would forget to be in the present.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're doing a great job with that.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So how do you fit in mommy and daddy time?
Well, it was very hard for me to learn that. Oh my God. It was very difficult, because I feel like when you have the baby is like your everything. So finding that balance, a lot of moms struggle with, you know? And he felt very neglected, and I felt like I was neglecting him, but I'm like, well, I don't know how to find balance. I've never done this before, you know? So now that we've kind of got past like this struggle moment that we had in our relationship, we'll just drop her off and we'll go out to dinner, or we'll go and have drinks, or we just came back from a 5-day trip in Cuba. So also I had to allow myself to be okay to like let her go away and like let her be too. It's like, she's my daughter. I have this idea that like she doesn't belong to me. She only belongs to me just because I created her, you know? Okay, now time to
This is
now. Say hi. Oh my gosh. Say hello. You want to sing?
Oh, she wants her
She wants
tea.
her
You want tea? Let me see.
She got a little cup.
Does she know that she's funny?
Yeah, I think so. And she's really smart. Like,
Yes.
she can be very manipulative,
Oh.
which is funny. But it's like, but she'll just kind of act like, I don't know what's going on. But she knows what's going on.
That is funny. Okay, so you fit in mommy and daddy time. That's really important.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to grasp that, especially when you first have the baby, because it's true, like that's your everything, and it's hard to create that separation. Hi, boo.
I think she wants you. What are you looking at? That little rock?
You want to play with it? This is an aquamarine, so it's gonna help you communicate a little bit better.
Perfect.
So we are so inspired by the way you live and your power and honor your truth as a connected spiritual being and mother. Do you have any spiritual practices that you have with peace?
With peace, I really feel like,
Or maybe harness your creativity?
yes, that's what I was gonna say, is I feel like it's more things of like going back to living in the present moment. I feel like that's such a big spiritual practice.
No, totally.
I'll tell her like, if she's like going through it, I'm like, peace, breathe. And then if I'm going through it, it's really funny because she'll be like, mommy, breathe, relax. I feel like that. I love when she does like arts and crafts.
Do you do it with her?
Yeah. She loves when I do her makeup. Mommy, can you do my makeup?
Oh, I've seen
like,
a
okay.
video like a few weeks ago or months ago. It's so cute.
Oh yeah, she loves when I do her makeup. So I feel like my spiritual practice, I feel like a lot of it is art, because that keeps me living in the present moment and staying aware and just expressing myself, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what I would use. Okay, you too high, girl. No.
I think it's so amazing because you two can co-create together.
Yeah, totally. And it's so cool because it's like she's me and I'm her. You know, it's like we're the same.
So we're gonna get a little serious, if that's okay with you. So I've been following you for a while, and I know that you went through postpartum depression. So you went through it, you've conquered it, you know, you've come out stronger. So how do you manage your triggers?
I do a lot of yoga. That helps me a lot. Going to the gym helps me a lot. I feel like it helps just like release
Oh my
any
gosh.
like anger, tension, or anything.
Yeah, I just started going back to the gym and I forgot how much emotions it helps you release.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like it gets stuck in your muscles or
Yeah,
fats
for
and
sure.
stuff, so it's good to like break it out and release them.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And then, so I work with Dr. Meyer. She's a holistic doctor. And I took this saliva test because my postpartum like dragged for so long. And basically what postpartum is when the woman has the baby depletes you of all your nutrients. So then you're just like a human body that's just like living off of no nutrients. So you have to restore everything that's there. But the average person doesn't really know that. So I took the saliva test because I lived like every day. I was like, okay, today's gonna be the day I'm gonna kill myself. Like this is the day. Like I can't do this because I was in so much pain mentally that I'm like, I can't do it. I went vegan. I was working out. I was doing yoga. I was doing everything by the book that seemed right. And I'm like, there's still something that's not right. Like, I'm very successful in my job, you know, and I'm like, what am I not doing that's right? That's not right. So they sent me to a regular doctor, which is Western medicine, which is pop pills and just the problem go over there and it'll just deal with it later. So I'm telling the psychiatrist, I'm like, yeah, but like, what about my liver? Like, I don't even like to take Advil, Tylenol, like, you know, so I started it, but I still felt like something wasn't right. So stop taking those. I'm like, I'm not gonna kill my liver off of this. So I took a saliva test. Gavin's mom, she's very into mental health as well. And my family already has a lot of history with mental health, like a lot of drug use. And I think it's to cope with the lack of what our bodies produce. That's basically where mental health comes from. It's like your body's not producing something.
Mommy?
What? Girl? I have to breathe a lot. Like I have to, that's another way to like deal with like stress is I really have to like make sure I'm in tune with my breath, you know? But I have times where I'm like, the other day I cried, I was like, I can't, I'm working on my patience. And Gavin's like, it's okay. You're having one bad day, like, you know? So yeah, so I'm like, I have to be the guinea pig for my family and basically find out like, what is it that's driving us crazy, so to speak. So I took the saliva test from Dr. Myrie and I got my results back and it's like your brain doesn't produce serotonin. It wasn't balanced out. I'm allergic to gluten, which I found out, and then she was like, you need to cut out gluten. My main thyroid wasn't working properly. My main intestine wasn't breaking down protein. So good thing I went vegan is because my body, but before I went vegan, my body wouldn't break down meat. I'm like, something's not right. Yeah, so I started taking a bunch of medicine from her. I don't want to say medicine. It's more of like herbs. Yeah. And she has taught me so much. Then I take these mineral waters. Basically what the mineral water does is whatever your DNA is, it kind of like wipes you clean. I'm not saying you get rid of your whole DNA, but it helps like because mental health happens because of trauma and your body is trying to survive, so certain things stop producing. People aren't just born, I mean you can be born with mental health depending on your mom's state of like carrying the baby. So there's some stuff of like when I was pregnant I was kind of stressed out. And there's some stuff that I probably pass to peace just because my body is releasing it and it goes into the sac, like the whole scientific part about it. So I'm taking these mineral waters that will basically help like wipe me clean to where I don't have depression because I kind of felt like I've always had it for a little while. And I've just basically been the guinea pig for my family. Not eating gluten literally has changed everything. My thoughts, I thought it was normal to have like foggy thoughts. My thoughts were very like, they weren't clear, but they were like also super foggy, you know? And I stopped doing gluten, like the first 2 weeks, I noticed the biggest difference. I'm like, oh my God, I can have a conversation with someone. So I had to put meat back in my diet because I'm like, what am I gonna do? Just eat fruits and vegetables? Like this is a little bit too hard. So I started eating chicken and fish. My body can break it down more because of the supplements that I got from Dr. Myrie. And then I literally was like, I will do anything. Like, what do you want me to do? And I've been working with her now for like almost 6 months and my whole, like everything changed. My mental health, I've never felt this mentally stable in my whole entire life. Like, I almost felt very out of control too, you know? I felt like my emotions were very out of control. Like the littlest things would like, I would just be on edge, and then I would still have self-awareness. I'm like, I don't understand why that's bothering me, and I couldn't control it. And so Dr. Myrie was like, oh no, you're not crazy. This is what it is. It's because your brain is not producing this, so you don't even have the right thing to fight off this. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I've been taking that. Her dad also works with a doctor as well. A couple of my friends have got saliva tests.
Oh my gosh, I was just gonna tell you that I'm so inspired to go take a saliva test with her.
It's so good because my family is like, and when I say family, it's like close family, like my brother, my aunts, my uncle, my grandmother, like all just have like, some have and some had, just like very bad experiences with drugs, but like real drugs, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, why? Like I'm losing my family because of this mental health condition. And I feel like there's not enough awareness, especially within the Black community. I feel like it's frowned upon, but it's like, I also think about slave days, you know what I mean? Or just whatever. I think every culture kind of goes through their own traumatic things, right? Indians, whatever. But if we have, let's say my ancestor is a slave that is indoors, but it's like you're still getting raped by the white man, you still got to take care of these babies, then they take the babies away, you're detached from your husband. Those are all emotions that are passed on to the next baby, which is my aunt, my grandmother, my great grandmother, my mom. So it's like, it's such a generational thing, and I'm like, I feel like I have the power to just break the cycle. And even Peace, we had her take a saliva test, because I'm like, well, whenever I had her, she's naturally going to get what I have, and that's how this thing keeps going, you know? So now that I'm taking the waters, once I'll be clean, so then once I have another baby, my baby won't have depression or anxiety or all these things, because it's like, I'm like, she can't deal with those things, because I notice there's some things where she's like, bah! And I'm like, I know that she's 2, I'm like, but I also know how I was, and I know that there's some things that I'm like, I'm not saying that there's something not right, but I know that there's a better way, because I know it now, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, I just feel like, am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah.
I feel like fucking healthy. Like,
that's great.
The healthiest ever. So, and I was able to work on my confidence more. I didn't have a lot of confidence, and I realized it was because I was in my own mind, because I was sick. I didn't realize how sick I was. And on the outside, everybody's like, oh my God, I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, because it's all in my brain. It's all in my mind, you know? So yeah, I'm like super thankful. It's great. And I can genuinely say that. I feel like I would say that before, and it wasn't genuine. So people are like, oh my God, like your energy. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm like, you know what the fuck I've been through, goddamn. You know, I'm like, oh, because I literally would plan out like, okay, like if I try to kill myself, it's okay. Peace has like a great grandmother. Like my mom, all the women in her life are very strong. Like everything will be fine. And I'm like, that's not normal. No, bear. You know, so yeah.
You definitely exude it for sure.
Thank you.
It's so cool to see how far that you've come just by hearing your experiences, because I would have never guessed, not knowing you, you know? And I love that you brought up the awareness of the Black culture and the Black community.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so important, and I have this discussion with as many people as I can. That awareness needs to be brought, and I feel like it is. I truly do, because you know that old conditioning is a way of the past. Thank you for acknowledging that, and I think that it's going to touch a lot of people.
And I feel like that's, you know, how we were talking about, you know, our parents' generations and grandparents, like the internet and all this stuff. But it's like, yeah, the internet, there's some things that it's like, you know, can mess with people's mind, blah, blah, blah. We get that part. But then on the other part, it's like we can have this interview and this discussion about depression, put it out, and maybe it reached 5, 10, 15, 1,000, 1,500 people. And it's like, information travels faster too.
Absolutely.
And the things that we're talking about are like, I'm like, these are real life things for people's spirits to like really live. I just don't think that we're put on this earth to be in
Right. You don't have to numb yourself either. That's the biggest thing.
I was like, I can't take these. I'm like, I can't take these pills. I'm like, it's just.
All right, you guys. So we had some technical difficulties in our last filming, but it brought us to nature, which is in our element anyways. So we're gonna finish up here, and Felicia, you were telling us about the mineral waters that you drink, and you gave the most amazing analogy, so you can continue with that.
Yes, so basically what I was explaining is the mineral waters, it's kind of like an inside exfoliant for your body, for the mental. So it will basically, all the problems that you have that are not creating inside of yourself, it'll kind of make them arise, and then it pushes them out. So being that I was suffering with depression, it kind of made the depression like bubble to the surface, and then it starts to clean it out. As we said, an inside exfoliant.
I love that.
Literally is the best way to explain it. And the mineral waters just help flush out your system. Any trauma or anything that is kind of being blocked just helps everything to flow and kind of work as if you were like a new baby all over again. They're very helpful for sure. So I can't wait to be like officially done with the waters so that I can just stand as like a new being officially.
Beautiful.
You know?
Yes. I just wanted to know, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there want to know more about your doctor. How do you spell her name so they can look her up?
Yeah, her name is Dr. Myrie. It's spelled Myrie. And yeah, if you look her up, you'll see she's a doctor that's in New York. And you don't necessarily go to her all the time, but once you do the saliva test and you send it in, then she's able to see everything that you need, because she's working more on an internal use. And then maybe we can like put her email or something. And it's like
we'll put it in
yahoo.uk.something cray. So we'll just put it at the bottom. Perfect. It'll be easier.
So how did you manifest becoming a celebrity makeup artist?
I think the way that I manifested that was I've always knew I wanted to be a celebrity makeup artist, and I knew that I wanted to do makeup within the industry. So I was working at a makeup counter for a really long time, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I want to be able to be more artsy. I want to travel the world. And I kind of just put it out into the universe of what I wanted. And every day I just practiced, and I would never say no to a job. And I just kind of had my eye on, this is something that I want. Wait, did I ever tell you guys the Janae story of, how I started working with her initially?
No.
Okay, so this is good.
Tell us.
So I had already worked with a bunch of celebrities, but I wanted to find a home. I think finding a team is it's so important. You go to work and you see the same people, and sometimes it gets tiring, but at the same time it's still this family unit of hey girl, what's up? Catching people up on your thing. So my thing is I would jump from different production crews and jump from different jobs, and I'm but I kind of want a home, but I still also want to be able to freelance and do my own thing. So when I was 7 months pregnant, 7 months pregnant, I was sitting in my car, and I was listening to Janae's music, because I've been a fan of her since I was in middle school. And I was I want to do Janae's makeup. She has a very natural, clean look. That's my favorite style. I'm going to master her look with her. So I kind of put in the universe, and I had called Peace's father, and I'm hey, I know her management team, blah, blah. I was but I'm just sharing something that I want to happen, but you don't do anything. Just let the universe do its own thing, because I want it to just be very organic.
Love that.
And I'm I'm just expressing my thoughts to you. Okay, cool. So then 3 months later, I got a call, and they're hey, Janae needs makeup for this video shoot. And I'm see, look, but that would always happen. I always knew, if I express something and I put it out and it's on my heart, then I always feel God is the one who puts it on your heart, and then we go out and get it, you know, just with having courage and perseverance. So after that video shoot, we just kept working together, and then I've been with her for about 3 years now, and the traveling with the world and doing magazine covers and collaborative projects with bigger companies. A lot of my goals as a makeup artist were fulfilled by working with her.
Wow.
Which has been really cool. So that's a cool little story.
That's amazing.
I know, that's so
you
beautiful.
believe in the law of attraction?
Yeah, I believe in the law of attraction mixed with prayer. I think it's a little bit of both, because I think we have to be careful when we only depend on law of attraction, because then it's then we think that we're obviously there's a piece of God that's inside of us, because that's how we're alive, right? That's my analogy. But I feel there was a part in my life where I was oh yeah, I can do it, I'm God. And then I had to take the backseat of no girl, you ain't God. You have to sit down, you have a piece of God.
Yes.
But it's just a matter of us collaborating with both of those worlds,
absolutely.
But law of attraction, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's been so many things that's happened in my life that I'm yeah, this is because I put it out there and I thought about it and I just tried every day, you know? So, yep.
That's so cool. I think a lot of people, when they think of the law of attraction, they think that, okay, they are manifesting something by thinking about it and then constantly thinking about it, but it's really like thinking about it and then letting it go to the universe and having faith that it will come to you.
Yeah.
And you're so right, you have to work for it too.
Yeah. I feel like you like have to do the work, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm sitting here and nothing's happening. It's like, but that's what's gonna happen. Like you can look at cake batter and the eggs and it's like, well, nothing's happening. Well, because you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like you have to make it, you know what I mean, for it to become this physical thing, you know.
100%. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so cool to see how you are in alignment with Janae Aiko. How is it like to be surrounded by like-minded individuals like her, who is a soulful being?
I feel like it's really good, because within the industry there's so many different types of people, you know. Some people are awake, some people are asleep, and I personally like to be surrounded by people that are awake and that can feed my spirit, because if not, it's like, what's the point, you know? Even though I am doing celebrity makeup and I'm working in this entertainment industry and it's so cool, but it's like, for me, I'm a spiritual being and I understand that. So I have to be around people that are like constantly pushing me or challenging my beliefs and helping me grow, because it's like, as I'm on earth, I want my spirit to like evolve on so many different levels of consciousness, to where I'm just like, yeah, like I have to be around that, you know. So it's a breath of fresh air, and I feel like it challenges me. It just challenges me every single day to be around people that are like that, you know. Just even in my personal life outside of work life. Like if I have friends that I feel like are no longer challenging me, it's like there's no love lost. It's like, but I have to go over there and make sure that I'm feeding myself, you know, and I'm feeding my spirit, not only for myself but for my daughter too, you know. I'm like, I can't stay stagnant, and I get this very uneasy feeling when things are like too comfortable or like too good. I'm like, okay, it's time to like get out of that, you know. I never really let myself get too comfortable, and sometimes when it is too comfortable, I'm like, okay, just like a little while longer, God, like just a little while, please, can I just stay here? That's the same thing actually that's happening with the waters, because when I first started taking the waters, basically what happened is, since I was depressed, it made me more depressed, because it found the root of the problem, and like I said, it bubbles to the surface. So Dr. Mari's like, okay, don't take the waters for a little while, let's get you on like 5-HTP and all these other vitamins so that we can kind of get you leveled out, and then you can take the waters so that they can work together. So I started taking these supplements, and I started to feel so happy, especially coming from such a long depression. And I was just like, no, Dr. Mari, I don't want to take the waters again. Like, just let me be happy for a little while. This literally just happened last week. So I called her. I'm like, Dr. Mari, I'm like, I'm doing good, but I can feel like it's hard for me to balance like just stressful situations, you know, when it should be a little bit easier. But when I'm taking like my other vitamins, like the Mercy Oil and the 5-HTP, I'm like, okay, like I'm feeling good. Like I feel balanced. Like I just felt like I was just very high, you know, not like smoking a blunt high, but just like I just felt calm. High. Yeah, I just felt very calm. And Gavin was like, oh, and Gavin is Peace's father. Gavin's like, well, you know, if you need a couple more months, like just tell Dr. Mari. And I'm like, no, but I need to grow and get past this, even though it's uncomfortable. Anything I've ever done in life, when it's uncomfortable, like it goes to like this comfortable space, you know. So I always take everything as like a blueprint. Like I remember when I felt uncomfortable in this situation, then when I got over it, you know, so I always kind of like backtrack, and I'm definitely dancing in that space right now with my health. I'm like, it's uncomfortable, but I know it's gonna get better, you know. So I'm just looking forward to the better.
It's gonna take you to this heightened place that
always
you didn't know about.
Yes,
yeah,
totally.
You have to have that contrast. I've been thinking about that constantly, because I've been in a weird space lately as well, and you know, now that I'm back in a good place, and it just happened this morning where I'm like, oh shit, like life is fucking beautiful.
Right.
And I really needed that contrast of not feeling so good, so I could remember like I need to like remain in love and remain in gratitude. So
totally.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yes, girl.
So who are your mentors?
My mentors are a lot of people that I read from. Well, did I say that right? Read from?
Yeah.
Does that sound like authors? Yeah.
I don't know,
a lot of my mentors are authors.
Yes.
Yeah, that's better, right?
Yes.
I love Deepak Chopra. I know some people say Chopra or Chopra. I always say Chopra.
I say Chopra.
Yeah. I'm like, I feel like that sounds right. Don Miguel Ruiz, Dr. Myrie is, oh my God, I learned so much from her. Let's see. I feel like Oprah would be a good one, but I feel like, no shade to Oprah, but I feel like there's people that she learns from, which is who I grab from, you know? But I do feel like she has led me to certain people. Peace is my mentor. Jesus, Peace is my mentor. She's in a phase where she like doesn't listen right now, and I'm like, God. And I'm like, maybe does God feel like this with us? Like when we don't listen, you know? Like, I'm telling you to do this. So, you know, let's say like it's a spiritual thing. Because I feel like anytime I get a level of enlightenment, it's like, oh, thanks God. Like, oh, or, you know, how we were talking about artistic inspiration. I'm like, oh, thank you. But then sometimes I don't listen to the voice. And I go the other way. And then 5 years later, I listen and he's like, well, I've been trying to tell you, girl. But yeah, I feel like those are Gavin, Peace's father, is a huge mentor in life and business. I feel like the business side, he helps me so much because I feel like I can be very nice and sometimes I don't look out for myself on the business side. So he'll be like, no, this is what you have to do because you have to be fair to yourself. Like, you have to win too. Yeah, I feel like those are my mentors for sure. And my sister. My sister is a very free spirit. She doesn't really worry about too much, so that kind of helps me to like stay grounded, you know. So different people on different levels, I think, help a lot.
That's beautiful. So you have an amazing tribe.
Yeah, for sure.
So important.
For sure. Yeah, so important, Lord.
And I have a quick question. Do you always have these conversations with God?
Yes, I feel like I do. I feel like my thing is, I feel like God is in any living thing, you know. I feel like we're all, the way that I see God is, it's like this big, like he's like this big energy bubble. And I think as humans, we use he and she because that's just our language, which is in the Fifth Agreement. And so I feel like when I'm talking to Gavin or I'm talking to my sister, I feel like I'm talking to God, a piece of God, you know? And then I go and I have my own connection with that big energy bubble that we're talking about, you know? But yeah, I feel like that's part of prayer or reading or just anything. I'm like, oh, thanks. I used to have them more often than I do now, but I think that's just a matter of me having more confidence in myself, knowing like, no, you do have more answers than what you think. Yeah. But I feel like those are just answers from God. It all goes back to the source, you know? So yeah.
So how do you balance doing it all? From being a makeup artist, a full-time mommy, doing commercial work, and working on yourself as a spiritual being, how do you set free from any limiting beliefs?
Well, I think limiting beliefs are definitely normal. I feel like it's a human thing. It's normal to like doubt yourself, you know? But I think the way that I balance and do it all is prayer. I think my tribe keeps me very grounded. Yoga is something that I've gravitated towards. Like just my exercising, I think is very meditative to my just daily practice. Staying creative and being artistic is like very, very meditative as well. Yeah. Hanging out with friends every so often or just like doing fun, free things, you know? I think nature and like plants and trees and traveling, like these are things that I naturally do in my own life, and I think that those are the things that definitely keep me balanced for sure. Like I have to do a little bit of everything. Like right now I didn't work out all last week, and then this week I'm like I'm like looking for something to like do fitness, you know? I'm like, oh yeah, hike, yeah, let's do it. Because if I don't do it, then I notice that I start to get out of whack. But I notice that's the thing that's in my, you know, my everyday routine or tradition that I'm not doing, that I didn't do for like literally 1 week. And I'm like, oh, no, we gotta get back on track. Yeah. Even though it sounds like a week, but it's like, that makes a difference in a human's world. Yeah. You know, so that's how I do it all.
So it's really important for you to nourish yourself. Yeah. So you can nourish everything around you.
Yeah, totally. And I've noticed that with my mental and, you know, just the way I'm eating and working out and taking my vitamins and my supplements, like those are the things that help me so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thanks. We got one more question.
Okay.
How do you vibrate higher?
How do I vibrate higher? Listen to Bob Marley. Yes. My sister has a really cool cool playlist that she always plays. Well, not always plays, but she plays like different ones. Like she's really into music. So when she plays that in the morning and before I have like a busy day, that always like helps me vibrate higher.
Yeah.
Eating gluten-free helps me vibrate higher because I can think clearer. Drinking a lot of water makes my skin glow, so I feel like I vibrate higher. Hanging out with peace. Those are all the things that vibrate higher.
Love it.
Yes.
What, a butterfly?
A butterfly came, and
I
that
love
was
butterflies.
such a. Me too. They're messages from the angels, so that was such a beautiful like ending.
Yeah.
Right? Butterfly.
We definitely appreciate you.
Thanks,
We
guys.
love your presence. We love your energy.
I know. There's this little animal that
We are like really in nature right now, you guys.
I'm like, this thing is scratching forever.
We're gonna be okay though. So yeah, that wraps it up. We love you so much, and your Instagram is
At Felicia Latour, just my name.
perfect. Perfect. And anything else that you want to put out there?
My YouTube is youtube.com/Felicia Latour. I make it very easy for people.
Yes.
Love it.
Amazing. Well, don't forget to vibrate.
Higher, higher, baby. Can you feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it? Do you feel the same way?
It's like we're the same.
Mommy.
Yes. You want me to open it?
Yes.
Okay. Chrissy's obsessed with you too.
Mommy. You want apple juice? I got you, girl.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Wait, I'm like, wait, doesn't get me.
Sorry.